Just want to emphasize that our case contest is still going on, so be sure to check that out because all undergraduate students are eligible to enter that. So a lot of great incentives are up for grabs, not only bringing your business ideas in front of a professional panel of judges, you also are able to be up for internship incentives as well as letters of recommendation and so forth. So just working on that. Just wait for Alessandro to join. All right. Hey, Alessandro, how are you today?
Hey, what's up? Doing well.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, it's a pleasure. Pleasure to join.
All right, why don't we get started? I'll give a little bit intro just so our viewers know. Alessandro De La Torre is the founder of Scholar Cash. So that is a huge organization or a huge establishment that is on TikTok and Instagram right now. Are you also on Twitter as well and Facebook, or are the two TikTok and Instagram?
So we're expecting to expand in the future, but so far we're seeing insane growth on those two. So we're just investing all of our resources into those two right now.
Awesome. Yeah, so huge following on Instagram and TikTok especially. And what they do is something that's quite amazing. They are providing information to the better half of the world into, what is going on with the scholarships, different giveaways, and it's no paid advertising, all organic. It's just about posting up-to-date and relevant content. And I have had the pleasure of meeting Alessandro and getting to know him a little bit better. So we are here today. Alessandro, did you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about what you're doing at Scholar Cash?
Sure thing. Well, hello everyone. My name is Alessandro De La Torre. I currently reside in Los Angeles, California. And it all just honestly came as an inspiration. For the next 4 years, I will not have any loan debt for completing my master's degree, and I'm super grateful of that. But I was working with other people trying to achieve the same thing that I did. I realized that not everyone is in the same boat as I, and that the school system that I was growing up with, it's very mutually inclusive to only people like me. And I knew that there was like a huge amount of people that are outside that did not have the same experience as me, and that will be hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt in the future. And I have the power of social media. I mean, I'm a teenager, I'm Gen Z, like I can do this. So why not use it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I know that you were talking to me before about getting the timing correct through your social media. So how would you say you go about finding the correct algorithm, or what key metrics do you typically look into when you want to provide information to a good bunch of people, but aren't really sure where to begin?
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's pretty anecdotal for me. I got Instagram in middle school. I was like in 6th grade when I got Instagram, and off the bat, all the friends knew that Instagram was a place to get the most polished version of yourself out there. And that's quite the opposite for somewhere like Twitter, unless you're like part of like a corporate aspect. People, the regular customers on Twitter, the regular people on Twitter, they're really raw, rudimentary people. They just express how they think. There's no polishing around that. Same thing with TikTok. It's basically Twitter in a video format, where if you're your raw, authentic self, people will follow you. And you can see that very clearly with many of the largest creators that are now verified on TikTok. They're just being themselves. There's no corporate aspect behind any of them. And I think that's what I pretty much utilized, yeah.
Awesome. So I know that you said you are still going to school, so obviously you have a lot of other things to juggle. So what is your advice, or what's more so your approach to handling, different tasks all at once, or multitasking just in general? Because some people can struggle with that.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the best part about this, about Scholar Cash, is that most of it is automated. It's completely automated on my end. I knew that if I want to make Scholar Cash something bigger than it already was a couple months ago, that I would have either two options: use automation software or hire people. And I'm not really into that. Corporate landscape where I have to hire people and have them as volunteers, because we're living in this new generation, and especially right now in this new era where most jobs that I could apply to someone or that they can volunteer for, it can just be automated online with an easy software to use. So I took a lot of time into finding the easiest modes of automation and softwares I could use. Things like simple things like later.com, Adalo, things that could take the hard part out and just leave the easy parts in for me to do. Those are really the key points that I used to make sure that I had enough time for myself. Most of the TikToks that I now post, as of like the past 2 months, they're all automated. I haven't opened up TikTok in a while. I sometimes open it up on my computer, but yeah, it's all just natural growth. It's just being your authentic self, scheduling those posts out, and people come to you.
Yeah, I know we were talking about the timing of everything being so important, especially when hopping on those new trends, or finding a niche that you can fit into with your business or your organization or whatever you're trying to do. So I've watched all of your TikToks. I love it. I think that they're so helpful too. So when you go about posting content, obviously some of it is going to be evergreen, but when you're changing up different things, do you try to keep like something consistent within your marketing, or how you're tracking your engagements within your TikToks or certain uploads to different social medias, or how do you best measure that?
Yeah, so through my experience with social media, I realized that when people follow you, it's typically only for one reason. And that reason can vary on the content that you're providing for the day. So in the beginning, I was pretty much all over the place. I would do like high school tips, and then like college tips, and then scholarships. But in reality, people were only following me for one of those niches. So then I just stuck to scholarships and then the occasional helpful high school tip. And when I started with that, or when I continue with that, I realized that if the people are following me with this content, and they would engage with that content, then I would just do a snowball effect in sorts. So I had slow growth in the beginning, but once I really gung-hoed with scholarships, I realized that if more people would be engaged in scholarships and the scholarship content, then more people would eventually follow. So you can see on my Instagram, for example, I got insane growth just in the past 2 months because I didn't really try to do a million things at once. I just stuck onto one thing, and the followers are only expecting me to do one thing, so that's what I should do. There's no like general facts about scholarships because they're all available online in a consumable format. But were they following me because of that? No, they were following me to get a daily scholarship every single day.
Right. And I know that you had said a lot of those scholarship websites that people go to oftentimes have their information, and it's just kind of like they can send it or share their information with whoever. And obviously that doesn't happen through Scholar Cash. That's another benefit to that. I know a lot of people like to protect their emails or whatever they might have within those applications, because we do reveal a lot of ourselves, especially when going through things like applying for a financial scholarship or just any scholarship or any job in general. So that is something really amazing that not a lot of companies can say that they do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
Where do you see Scholar Cash going in the future? Do you have any significant plans for the next year or so, or what are you thinking now that school is starting? You think it'll kind of simmer down? I know we were talking about those popular months to advertise certain things, and you said it was only, I believe, March and July, correct?
March, July, and then September, October.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you got another
Yeah.
swirl coming up.
Yeah, so I have another boost coming up. I mean, I started this account or the accounts in March, and I officialized the organization through Google's business services like in the middle of summer. And as of now, I think the exact number is we have 203,000 and like 5 or 6 students that are currently engaged in Scholar Cash in some form or another. So it's almost 250,000 students, which is insane. First of all, I've never spent a penny with advertising. I don't have the type of money to spend millions of dollars in advertising. I've never paid a penny in advertising. I never paid a penny in any software services. I just found the free ones that I could use. And in reality, it's not even taking that much time out of my day to really record anything. I just record on Sundays for like an hour or two, and that's it. That's all I need to think about for Scholar Cash. And yeah, it's just growing naturally. I mean, I think this past month we had the largest increase with 105, I believe it's 105,000 students that were hopping on board. And currently we do, it's a global service. So anyone that's interested in Scholar Cash can find a scholarship for their niche. But of course, like 95% of our students do come from the United States because the United States has a unique issue with student loan debt, as we are one of the worst countries to deal with the loan debt crisis with our current governments. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree with you, but that is so amazing that you're able to gauge that audience organically. That is a dream that we have here at Sizigi. So it's been amazing getting to know how Scholar Cash works and how you kind of head it on and lead with such diligence and also not as much stress. Yeah, because you have a dedicated system that you're following. So we do have some questions from the audience. One of them is people say that there is a snowball effect on social media concerning followers and engagements. What do you think / do you agree with it?
So I think people fail to realize when they're going to start in the social media aspect when they haven't really used it that much throughout their natural lives is that there are very few social media outlets that will let you have pure natural engagement. And in reality, there's only one social media site that will actually give you that, and that is TikTok. That is the reason why so many students or so many especially people in their teens are going into TikTok, because it's the easiest chance to get famous, to get followers, to get following. Because through Instagram, there's not that follower aspect where, yes, you can go on your explore page, but hardly anyone on Instagram clicks that search or clicks that magnifying glass to explore different topics. And even then, it's the most popular people. So it's really hard to climb to the top on something like Instagram. Snapchat, it's a lost cause because you need 50,000 people to already follow you in order to have a chance at natural engagement. Twitter, it's the same story. Twitter, you can be funny and relatable. That's one way to get famous on there, but it takes you up to like 2 years to reach an audience of around 10,000. Same thing with YouTube. So really you have the only option with TikTok. It's a relatively new platform. It copied Musical.ly software. The reason Musical.ly was so popular is because you can post one video with 0 followers and you have the chance to have 3 million views, because it's not based on followers at all. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. It just matters how good your content is. So in regards to the snowball effect, I think it's very exclusive to certain sites. So when Musical.ly was a thing, I would say the snowball effect definitely applies there. Through TikTok, you can have 0 followers and the snowball effect will apply there. With Snapchat, you have to reach like 50K followers, then the snowball effect will kind of take place. On Instagram, you have to be famous for the snowball effect to take place. And Twitter, same thing.
Awesome. Yeah, I can agree with that reasoning there. I can definitely see how TikTok has kind of taken over with everybody kind of rising to fame overnight. It has been crazy to see how many videos go viral just based on their algorithm. And while we're on just like the subject of TikTok, I know Triller is similar. I think they have the same, I'm not sure if it's the same algorithm or something similar to that effect, but that's something else that we were looking to explore into that avenue. Have you ever used Triller yourself for advertising or just for personal use?
Yeah, so obviously during the summer there was all these like TikTok scares where we've been banned and stuff like that. That's when you see a lot of creators branching out to other things like Byte and Triller. The issues with those two is that it really mimics the concept of the Instagram algorithm, where you need to have a certain amount of following or you have to be verified in some sort in order to get that snowball effect to start going. So you see the huge names like Noah Beck, Andrew Bernard. These people, obviously, when I'm talking to somebody that's over 25, 26 years old, they have no idea who these people are, of course. But if you talk to anyone any year younger, these are one of the most famous people on the internet right now. If you ask any teenager, who's Noah Beck, they will know automatically who Noah Beck is. So it's that aspect. So you see those people on Triller, and they're receiving insane growth. Obviously, not the growth that they're getting on TikTok, of course, because the audience is a little bit smaller on Triller. But it is possible. It's really tough when you have no audience to start on Triller. You have to have an audience on some other account, on some other platform in order to start growing on a place like Triller.
Great. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the advice. I don't think we have any other questions from the audience. So I want to thank you just one more time for taking the time out of your day to join us today, Alessandro. I really appreciate you coming on and talking to our audience. We are so happy with this connection, and what you're doing at Scholar Cash is great. So we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You as well. You as well.